Honourable Senators, I rise today on the lands of the Anishinaabe Algonquin Nation in this august chamber of sober second thought to speak to Inquiry 31, to celebrate the retirement of our esteemed colleague, Senator Ratna Omidvar, to sing her praises for her enduring contributions to Canada and the world, and to wish her well as she embarks with her legendary dynamism on her next exciting chapter of life and service. Senatrice Omidvar is well respected by every individual in this chamber. She is also held in great affection. Senator Omidvar brought to this chamber her own experiences of displacement and the real struggle of being a refugee with her family when she moved to Canada. When we recently met in Antigonish with refugees and other displaced people from Haiti, Syria, Afghanistan, Congo, and Ukraine, Ratna was able to listen with genuine empathy and share her own stories of hardship, of hard work, and of ultimate success. She also brought to the Senate her professional background, first as an educator and her many years as the president of the Toronto-based Maitrey Foundation, leading innovative work in support of immigrants locally, nationally, and internationally. She was laser-focused on helping people to make a living, something which is fundamentally important for successful integration and inclusion in Canada. She continued her work on diversity, migration, and inclusion at Ryerson TMU. Senator Omidvar's deep experience with Canada's civil society sector, her work on immigration and refugee success, and her keen attention to the matters of diversity and inclusion prepared her well for her role in this chamber. In fact, her first statement in the Senate was on Canada's apology for turning back the 376 Punjabi migrants who had sailed to Vancouver from Hong Kong in 1914 on the Komagatu Maru, looking for a safe and secure place to live. Canada had a white-only immigration policy at that time. As in her previous life, Senator Omidvar has been incredibly productive during her time with us here in the Senate. Our job as senators is to represent, to investigate, and most importantly, to legislate. Senator Omidvar has sponsored several critical bills, C-20, which just passed, received royal assent, establishing the Public Complaints and Review Commission, Bill S-279, related to tax treatments for charities, and Bill S-278 to amend the Special Economic Measures Act, disposal of foreign state assets. As chair of SOCI, she's shepherded countless other bills through that very busy committee. Bills on disability supports, suicide prevention, early learning, intimate partner violence, sustainable jobs in a net zero economy, pharmacare. As for the responsibility to investigate, Ratna was deputy chair of the Special Senate Committee on the Charitable Sector. And as we are all aware, guided the SOCI Committee as its chair in its recently completed study on Canada's temporary foreign worker program. She's represented the people of Toronto and Ontario well in this chamber, and as a citizen of the world, she's brought the plight of oppressed Iranian and Afghan women to our attention, the exploitation of international students in Canada, reminding us also of the important contributions that all of those people bring. She's represented temporary foreign workers and made sure the diverse voices of those not often heard are listened to here in this chamber. Ratna is never reluctant to bring to our attention the many injustices experienced by people in Canada or internationally, but she never dwells there. Senator Omidvar is always clear on the contributions people make or could make if given fair opportunities. She sees people for their strengths. She sees them in all their dimensions. It is for these many accomplishments that Ratna has earned our respect, yet it is for how she goes about her work and how she relates to others that she has earned our affection. Ratna Omidvar is a driven, serious, and accomplished leader. But she's not a lone wolf. She's a collaborator. She's a team player. She's generous and kind, and she's a delight to work with. She's someone who reaches out to fellow senators across this chamber, to colleagues in the other place, to cabinet ministers, and to Canadians and international colleagues. When I first came to this chamber, just as we heard from Senator Mila Deschênes. She was so generous and part of a group of women senators who took me and other new senators under her wing. Throughout our time together here, we've worked on many common matters. In September, I hosted Senator Omidvar, her husband Mechan, and her staff member Stephanie Saunders in Antigonish, Nova Scotia. The purpose of the visit was to investigate the situation of newcomers in that rural context and to look at how they were being supported in formal and informal ways. We met, of course, with Antigonish's most famous chocolate maker, former Syrian refugee Tarek Haddad, CEO of Peace by Chocolate. Not surprisingly, and coincidentally, our very first Senate event, collaboration, was focused on refugee issues. It was jointly sponsored with the Refugee Hub at Ottawa U and featured Peace by Chocolate CEO Tarek Haddad, and also Peace by Chocolate's corporate partner, Sobeys, and at that time, Minister Hussein. He was the Minister of Immigration and Refugees. A couple of weeks ago, we co-hosted with several colleagues a very enlightening event with international women's civil society leaders. Senator Omidvar is a member of Senators for Climate Solutions and made a very important contribution to my climate solutions inquiry by linking the issues of migration and climate change. And we, of course, have in place our initial plan for working together in the future. She's not done. That future plan is focused on success in migration, an innovative win-win-win training and employment model which benefits people who are migrating, the countries who receive them, as well as their countries of origin. Ratna and I have a number of things in common, and one of those is the date of November 5th. Ratna was celebrating her 5th birthday in Amritsar, India, the day I entered the world in Orillia, Ontario. And here we are, both about to celebrate milestone birthdays. And I know we both share the same wish for our birthdays next Tuesday, November 5th. Our wish is, and her name is, Kamala. Honorable colleagues, honorable colleagues, most honorable departing colleague Ratna, my birthday sister, I want to wish you, Ratna, a very happy, healthy, and fulfilling retirement with your wonderful and supportive husband, Mechan, your lovely and accomplished daughters, Ramona and Yazi, your sons-in-law, Vic and Dan, and those most precious grandchildren you love to dote on, Naila, Aleika, Maisha, Zayan, Kian, and Asher. I want to thank you, Ratna, sincerely for the gift of our friendship, and I ask our colleagues to join me in thanking you for the indelible mark you have made here in the Senate, in the lives of the people in our country and in the world. Go with our respect and affection, Ratna Ben. On Diwali, this day of light, we wish you well, our colleague and friend. Happy retirement, Ratna. Happy birthday, Ratna, and happy Diwali.